Recording in progress.
Yes, I'm quick. I have this automatically on Zoom.
Cool.
Okay. How are you? Again.
Doing good. I was editing the podcast the whole morning, and I uploaded one and prepared the second, so it's very slow. It's faster to record than to publish.
Okay. So when do you think like podcast with you will be out?
With this podcast?
Yes, this podcast, yes.
In a minute.
But it's gonna be published.
Yes.
When?
Oh, do you mean I need to publish on my channel?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we can prioritize it, so we can publish it today.
That's what people wanted. I asked.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do this.
Create in the news YouTube channel, or do it in public. So they wanted to do it in public because they want this channel to grow. So
Cool. And now I have a recorded line where you say "do it in public," so I can put it over the beat.
Yeah.
But you can record. You can record the better one. Yeah.
It's not about me. It's about you. So yellow.
Hello.
Okay. So, Igor, could you please describe us? What the hell? The people that will watch this. What the hell do you do in Paralect?
Do they know what Paralect is?
If this is on Do It in Public and do it, I hope they know. But
yeah, it makes
Paralect is Cozy Startup Studio.
Right. Yeah, so I was a CTO in Paralect. I am still, but it's better to say I was. And I was like managing all the client projects and stuff, and we were thinking how to grow further. And I saw no other opportunity that go online, because that's where people are. I didn't have any social media at the moment. It was more than 2 years ago, and my first social media was LinkedIn. So I kind of lame. But I started posting there. I started creating websites and going online, and that's how we launched our first like cool project. It was Accelerator, so it was like a free startup bootcamp, but in exchange to equity. So that's how we got into a cool startup world, and started to be associated with a startup studio like back to 2 years ago. And I started to learn Twitter more and more, but I was lame in Twitter too. So I was tweeting for 2 years, following wrong accounts, but I was forcing myself to tweet daily just because I felt there is something here and I want to train discipline. And it was difficult. And I was writing stuff, but nobody was reading it. Nobody cared in internet. A few people cared in company. But about 7 months ago, so it's finally started working. So all the stuff that I created during these 2 years, so it's suddenly interesting for people, and they think that I'm super smart. But I actually just created like during these like years. So I'm starting to promoting this brand of being super smart, as I also achieved some cool results with like products that we built in like Momentum. So it had a good launch in Product Hunt. It was my first launch, but thanks to Alex and other guys, it's the number one product of the day, number one product of the week. And what is cool, it's number one product, marketing product of the week. So I kind of proved that I'm a marketer now too. So yeah, it gave some confidence. So now we're pushing it hard. So we proved that our framework works. So now we're trying to like transform all the people from company to this like a new type of like creator, indie hacker type of people, because we think that old type of professions, like all type of building startups, all process, it's already outdated. And that's why we see like so many people are fired from big companies. That's why we see a lack of projects. That's why we see more and more indie hackers. So that's what I'm doing in internet.
Okay, is there, because this is something interesting always for me, were there any logic behind you being active on LinkedIn? Like, why do you choose like LinkedIn? It's because it's more business and you are open more to business, or it was like randomly randomly?
Yeah, I thought it was like the only like business option. Yeah, I was kind of
Okay.
I even didn't think about Twitter, because Twitter for me was like a weird social network when my friends were like 5 years ago, and I didn't even think that it's like a cool social network. But I started with LinkedIn, and by the way, like first guy who changed like my path. So I was following Alexander Valdarsky. He's a CEO of Lemon. Do you know them? Lemon.io.
No, let's check them.
Yeah, you should check them because they have amazing brand, amazing marketing, and the CEO, this guy, he's like really like rock star. So he was basically growing. I was subscribed to his newsletter, and he was doing really practical content, and I was enjoying it. And in the end of the year, he just sent like, here is our like revenue, here is our profits, here is our channels, and I thought, wow, it's something that I wanted to do like all the time. And I just replied to newsletter, and he replied back, and we jumped. It was like the first person from Twitter who showed me Twitter. So he was a nice guy. He showed me Twitter. He showed me $1 million, my first million podcast. It's really cool. There are two guys, Sam Parr and Sean Perry. They are great creators, great community builders. So I learned a lot from them, and I started to dig into Twitter. But yeah, I was more active on LinkedIn first.
Okay, that's interesting. Because Twitter perfectly match like your company vision and
Yeah.
approach that
Now,
you're taking. So with finding the Alexander that showed you how Twitter works, and when you saw his company, um, this is what like push you to change direction of Paralect, because I understand that you have the big impact on changing the direction on
yeah.
how the Paralect looks in digital world.
Right. Yeah, so I just kept talking about like this content. So every time we had some meetings, like with the team or with like bosses, so every time I was speaking about this content and try to show like a really small results. Like, yes, it like does work, but here is like some guy, he saw this and he referred to this, so it's already working. So I always like trying to find the proofs that it works, but it wasn't. So people are working, they're doing projects, and they are out of this context. I think it's difficult to understand. So that's why for 2 years it was kind of like background activity. So everyone knew that I do, and everyone saw that I'm doing it more and more. But only when it start working. And by the way, I can tell you, like the very first time when I understood that there is something in my content. So it was not because of Twitter; it was because of Reddit. I posted
Oh.
to yes, and so it's pretty cool because so I was tweeting, nobody like care about it. But one day I just opened this startup subreddit with 1 million users, and I just wrote an article like in 30 minutes or something, because knowing about Twitter, I just didn't expect anything. And I
Yeah.
posted it, and the next day it just blew up. So it's now the second post of the year under this subreddit. And
I
I
think
have
we already
another
talked
post that
about
in the
this, but
top.
this is pretty interesting that as a new user on Twitter and Reddit, like
Yeah.
they didn't ban you.
Yeah,
And you
because
and
I
Mario.
wasn't bored. Yeah, yeah, back then, but yeah, but it was like yeah, and it's very interesting. So the article was about like how to launch MVP like today. Now we saying like to 2030, but then I said like today, and I was saying like you don't need tech, you need a landing page. You just collect a wait list, like try to collect testimonials, show testimonials, and only when you collected everything, then you could should consider building. So it's kind of cool because now it's like we're doing it actually like with Nana, so we're launching it. But yeah, it was like in November last year.
That's
And
that's great.
yeah, and people on Reddit were nice. So everybody said that they're harsh, but I know. So people were nice. Some people were like adding harsh comments, but I was replying, so there wasn't any issues.
Okay.
But the mods are harsh. Mods are terrible.
Okay. So when we go to your LinkedIn, I'm doing it right now. So you started at Paralect as net developer, right? Yes.
.NET, yeah, .NET, C#.
Then after 1 year and 3 months, you become senior full stack JavaScript developer, which is quite interesting. Then after almost 4 years, you switch to product manager.
Right.
Like, how? And then you become a CTO, like almost 4.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so okay.
It looks nice on the LinkedIn, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
how it looks from your perspective, how the Paralect look like when you join guys, and how the journey looks like from your perspective.
Okay. Yeah, and I wrote some tiny thread on this when I recorded an episode with Dmitry, but I tell you, so I was working some other work like for 1 year. So it was like my first year of working as a C# .NET developer. And I saw Paralect ad, like the job ad, and I really loved it because it was like not the same as any other ad. So it was talking about like values, it's really cool that it was talking about change. So one of the core values, like in 2013, was we are constantly change. But it was so funny that it was written like we are constantly change our code because our code won't be always the same, something like that. So it was a pretty cool job ad that wasn't similar to any other thing, and I was too scared to apply. And I went to other job, and it was boring, very boring. And I thought, okay, I'll go to this like interview. I won't lose anything. So I went to Paralect, and the interview was cool because Dmitry should like interview me, but back then, but there wasn't Dmitry because I don't know, he just didn't came to office in time, and they just took another guy like who later became our CTO, Alex, and he was just working, and they just asked like, Alex, can you interview this guy? And that's why he wasn't asking like the typical questions like about like programming, like objective-oriented programming. I hated this, so it was basic, boring, and he was talking like, okay, let me think, what problem we have on the project? Okay, how do you scale like the database? And I didn't like even understand like how to launch the database. I've heard something, so I really like failed on this interview, and all other interviews, people were amazed like about me because I just learned stuff from the book, and they asked stuff from the book. That's it. So like eventually they say yes, but I said thought that they wouldn't accept me. And it was a like private house. It was 20 people. We had a cat. We had like barbecue parties. I slept there like a lot before university. So I was working, sleeping, and go to university. So it was like kind of underground thing. So I love it. And the reason why I'm talking about it, so we were always relaxed about these like titles. So I can like put any title that I wanted, even like when I was back then. I could put a different title, so it also would make sense. But I started as shop developer, but I was into JavaScript even when I joined. So that's why I asked to switch the project to JavaScript and like switch in the next week. And I was pretty fast to learn because I was already like trying some stuff. As like they saw some potential in me, like Dmitry and guys, they like put me as a dev lead on the new projects, like that was called Golands. So that's like the big part of my story is the project called Golands, the company called Golands. Because I was working directly with the founder, Michael. He was a CEO, and he's like really super energetic, salesy. Not salesy, I mean salesman, like great salesman and great entrepreneur, like always moving, always doing stuff, like or always like launching companies. So I learned a lot from him, and I was working a lot and I was working on business like objectives. So I wasn't like coding stuff because I knew that we need to sell something, we need to launch something for this client, for that. So that's how I learned to build it really quick and understand stuff in the business. And Michael was like teaching me, and the platform itself was fintech platform. So I learned a lot about fintech. So that's how I like became this senior Node.js developer. Later, so when we had like a big team, so I didn't need to code anymore because we had a lot of people. So we need to promote people. So that's why I like promoted myself to product manager. So
Okay.
the other person can like take over like development stuff. And then I was just a bit. I think a bit tired of the like after 4 or 5 years, and I just saw more future in Paralect. So that's why I took the decision like to took this like CTO role. Because I could like continue, and we still continue working with Golands, and there are many people working there. But I could also like took another road. Yeah, and as CTO also, so I quickly realized when I started working like with the clients, like on the sales call, that I don't need to like learn tech anymore because like we are already very good in tech, but we are not good in like sales, marketing stuff. So that's also like where content fits in. Does it answer your question?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Very long, very deep, very cool.
You can stop me.
No, I will not. But something for example, for me, what catch my attention to your person was the first videos on like YouTube when you were walking around like a city and saying your startup is a media company.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so about this media company, as you say that your startup is a media company, is there any content anywhere that you don't like and you do not appreciate
From me or
from
what type?
people?
Uh, I think I just take I just stay away from content that I don't appreciate. But I think that there is a lot of content that is very like long and not informative. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to find the guys who are really concise with the thoughts. So that's why Twitter is also great because it filters like these like experts. I call them like experts
yes.
who like I know like we'll write an article that like will like speak a lot of like jargon words, like a lot of theory, like a lot of what if and what like no actionable stuff, like no results, like no projects that they applied on. So I stay away. So I prefer really short content and people who write in short content actionable with actionable examples, so I can see exactly how they apply it on the product. Like Alexander in Lemon, he showed on the company Lemon, and I could like tell how he used Quora. So he wasn't telling, there is a lot of social media, and Quora is a perfect place to find a like-minded experience, like something bullshit. He said, Quora is a good channel to get leads, but now it's overcrowded. So you better probably take a different channel. So it's something that you can learn and use. So that's the type of content that I appreciate. And I think that LinkedIn is doing a bad job in like teaching people how to use internet, let's say so,
Yeah,
because there are some things. So like more people use LinkedIn than Twitter. I think like from like our circles, like I mean people. I don't understand what you mean. I mean like. We are like a founder, so that's why we think that use Twitter. But there are a lot of people like developers, designers, so they're more like in LinkedIn, and
yeah,
they see like these generated articles like with no practical steps, and they see
yeah,
it's norm. And they see that in direct messages you can generate answer, and they see that the how word works, and
yeah,
that's bad. I think.
yeah. Like from my perspective, like LinkedIn is a place when people find out stuff like from like 10 years ago and just post them like
Yeah, and
random
I think
stuff.
we should change this too. So
Yeah,
we're starting to change, and I think it will be pretty easy because if we just take everything from Twitter and put to LinkedIn, we'll be immediately like a very distant company.
Yeah.
Okay, so media company. So what do you want to discuss about media company?
No, I right now I wanted, because I remember the situation when you fucked up with LinkedIn, and there was a people in Paralect that was mad on you.
Yes. Yeah. So we discussed. So I think they forgave me, but still, like, it's stressful for people. But I think it's stressful for more and more people. But I guess that's what it's about. So it's like live through stress, at least like this one time stress, and if you live through it, you immediately like much more powerful. Like with even this like logo change that was stressful for us, after this I became more confident. I just saw how people react, what they say, and I just have answers for these questions.
Yeah. But right now it's cool you posting like photos in like Paralect logo, so it doesn't look like Pornhub anymore. Maybe right now you guys like Pornhub stars, you making yourself Pornhub stars.
No, but I really like this idea. So I want this like a square to move in, like to like include videos. So I really like the final ideas that we have. But Dmitry wants to keep this square right there, like right in the right. Dmitry pushes, yeah.
To anyone that doesn't know, Dimitri is new Elon
Elon Musk.
Musk. Okay.
Do you want to tell something to Dmitry?
Sorry?
Do you want to send some personal message to Dmitry? You already sent it.
Okay. Hello, Elon. I want to interview you.
No, it's too late. He will hear just hello, Elon.
Okay. Okay. So now I thought that I will ask you like super weird question. This is the type of question I really like to ask on the interviews. Because for example, from my side, I don't like to ask very technical question, because for me it's more important how people thinks about the problems, and this is basically the main factor of me hiring them.
Okay.
So maybe that can be interesting for someone, to understand this. Thank you.
Oh, you have the whole crew.
So I would like to ask you, how would you approach improving the experience of using an elevator?
Approach? How do I approach? How do I
Yeah.
change it?
Yeah, where would you start if you need to do it?
Oh, damn, I hate this type of questions. Let me tell you one story before like the answer. Just and it will be interesting to hear my answer because I really hate this type of questions. So when I joined my first job, the first so I went to the office and there was an office manager and she gave me a cognitive test, like something like you doing right now. So it was like an IQ test, something like that, and I was always bad in these things. And I replied something, and then like technical guy comes in and he takes this like paper and he says,
Why?
okay, let's start. And then he just asked this question, and as I said, I just answered everything. He was like very confused. So I'm pretty stupid. So part of my mind is pretty stupid. So let's see. Elevator. How do I approach it? First, I would say like what is not what I don't like about elevator, like what first I need to improve and what goal I need to achieve, like what the final things that I should have. And for me, so for me personally, like if I prove for me, I don't have any issues with elevator. So I would just keep it as it is, not changing. But if I was a guy who had to change experience of elevators, so I don't know.
For example, my problem with elevator And
Okay.
the place when I will start, when I'm on the 0, why the hell I need to click the fucking button and wait for the elevator? This is my first thing.
Yeah, it's because your problem, but I never like thought about it, so it's interesting. So okay, but yeah, if I think like what pissed me off, like yeah, probably like you said, so it's similar to you, but you mean the same thing, right? You open the door and yeah, so yeah, it's cool, yeah, it's cool, but I don't know the better one. What else? I don't know. I I laugh everything about elevators. Sorry.
You live in Krakow. You don't use elevators.
Yeah, that's why. So again, so if I had to change, so if it was my job, then I took like few people and asked them like, what don't you like about elevator? And but if I was passionate about elevator, that was my goal. I would probably start with something very new, like how do I don't know. I step in and I immediately near my door, and I would approach this problem. So that's my thinking.
I was thinking you will say something like, I would like to change elevators to slides or something like this, like totally abstract.
No. Oh, probably making them transparent and nice, cool. That's something that I would love. Like put some plants there, like nice green stuff, make them
Yeah,
transparent.
yeah.
So
That would be pretty cool.
yeah,
Okay.
does it work? What
Yeah.
people usually say.
And this is like first time I asked this question. But I have a talk with one of my friend about this, and we just talk about this like for 2 hours. No, yeah.
You know something that I'm trying. So with this like Nana and like my recent confidence. So I think like this like kind of process, like discipline process, that if you want to do something, like do it today and then continue to do it every day, it's kind of like universal thing that you can apply to any kind of problem. So that's why I think it's so big. I mean, like. You want to better shape, you go to gym and do the same. Like you want to learn drawing, you do the same. You want to like become a better friend with someone, you do the same. You just constantly like thinking about how to improve every day. So this kind of thing. So and I think it's universal. Even like with the elevator, like it's also like improving it like a bit every day instead of thinking about something huge from the beginning. And once you're thinking about improving every day, in 1 week you will have like huge ton of ideas.
Great. I love it.
Yeah, that's why I was talking about like this program in my brain. So I'm going to very basics.
This is great that you mentioned it because I forgot about this, but I was thinking that would be super interesting that to have programmed brain because it's super interesting. How would you use my mind for your own purposes? And how, for example, I would use your brain to my own purposes.
Yeah, it's interesting. And do you know the guy called Ray Dalio?
No.
Okay, so he's a very old dude, and I think he's one of the like richest men on the planet, and he owner of a hedge fund. But what is cool about him, he is a very building public guy. So basically, he announced that in their company there is a principle called radical transparency, meaning like everyone should say anything about anyone. And he developed a lot of like tools to do this. So, for example, they do some meetings, and everyone should put their like how much they like someone talk. And he shown like how some assistant, some like girl, like said that his talk sucks, and everyone sees like that, like everyone's opinions. So he tried to make it very public, even when they're discussing something, every opinion to log it, to eventually to program it. And he was one of the first to use AI, so he's a very interesting guy and very like with a cool philosophy. So it was one of the first like books that I liked. And yesterday, so why I wrote it yesterday, so it's actually like an issue now. So as I became like very energetic like recently and confident, So some people think I'm pushing them, but in fact I'm not pushing. So I'm just like speaking a lot, probably like thinking, and yes, I realize some people like treat it as pushing, and like they blame me like for something, and like human this, but I didn't like mean anything like that. So so I'm trying to like figure out how to deal with it, so I'm not like hard people. So I'm thinking like probably I need to develop like this kind of like system. When I'm on a meeting with someone, I probably talk for 10 seconds and stop. Or like if I want to say negative feedback, I would say, can I please share some feedback with you? Something like that. And I think that's become pretty important now, actually. So as I'm on the internet talking with a lot of people, so I think we'll do this.
That's also quite interesting, because how much like Paralect or you guys like impact employees of Paralect and what they posting like on Twitter, because that's also that basically that's interesting, because like you are the only like organization that I know, the team that I know that doing marketing for Paralect on Twitter, and they are not like, you are not the independent like creator as basically most of us, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you mean like how many people are there, or why we're doing it?
Yeah, so there is like, is there any plan, or they are free to post anything, or how it
Oh,
looks like?
yeah. Oh, no. So there's no plan. So it's actually like very like deep. So we don't have the things that we don't want to be in the process. So for example, like our like marketing page in Paralect, it's again run by like our marketing team, and we decided that now in Paralect account we should post only just repurposed content, because like we want to do this. It means that the previous post and they want to keep previous posts, and it makes sense because they're great. But instead of like arguing about like what to keep and what to left, we're saying, okay, we'll keep Paralect as it is, like I mean, as we want to, but just to take everything that you created and put it under a separate brand. So we don't like intervene it some anyhow. Like put your own name, like create your own like risky like stuff, like try to sell, and just let's not discuss it, let's try to do it. So that's how we do it. So we don't have any limits like what to write about, but we have like this system that we now polishing. Like if you want to launch a project, do this, like announce it, launch a landing page, and stuff like this. And we were kind of prepared for Twitter, because we were speaking about personal brand for all these 2 years. You probably don't know it, but Dmitry also had an internal podcast called CEO Evening Show, and he was doing it for like 2.5 years every Thursday, like without no exception, only like with vacations in January after New Year. And the goal of it was to translate, like, so basically I was outside, like company was working on the project, so we kind of were transforming, and Dmitry was in the middle, like talking about our principles, our philosophy, about what's going on Twitter, and about what's going on in Paralect. And so he was talking about personal brand. When people are joining, we created a video for them, and so they like immediately understand that something's going on. So we were kind of preparing this, but anyway, it's like hard for people to go like and start posting.
Yeah, but I think it's easy for us right now, because we
Now,
built
yes.
like kind of the Twitter team, and it's just like coming to meet like your Twitter friends every day and talking with them every day. So it's cool, and like for me, I have no pressure of building like Twitter account to make it bigger, or engage with other people. I just engage with people that basically you guys that I have
And
fun with. No
so
pressure.
that's what I'm like talking about. So first of all, we already like figure out it. So we already know how it works. So why don't you just like try it for a week and do the same.
It can be hard, right? Because, for example, every time when someone new join, I'm like, huh? Who are you? And what you're trying to do?
Yeah, it will take time so better earlier. So we'll see more and more people. But the cool thing is that this week I've met one of our designers through Twitter.
Okay.
So it's perfect. So that's how I want things to be like later, because later we'll just hire people from Twitter. I think we'll create. So let me say what we're like, what the future is. So the future of Paralect, at least me, I think like more and more people now. So we don't want to have contracts like we have now. So we hire you and we pay salary, whatever like happens. So we're building like really company of entrepreneurs. So meaning that everyone should earn the money, and they not only should earn the money, they should like earn 10x of other companies as they are like working hard, the entrepreneurs. So basically what we're trying to do is we find the way to let people earn their salary, at least their salary with their revenue, and just then like discontinue contracts saying, okay, here is your business, now you can grow it. And basically it so later we will like we won't have like these contracts for salary, probably like something like a revenue share or something something like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good for everyone in parallel.
Yes, I think it's good, but yeah, it's tough for people. So fact is that many people will leave, and that's why we started to talking about it. We want to make it serious, so those people who are ready, so they started to working on it. But yeah, for sure, many people they want like restructure the brand. They won't believe that it's happening, so eventually they will leave.
Well, in that case, we can say business is business. Everyone
That's what I'm saying.
has their own like goals, right? So if someone want to be like a stone and work in the company, feel secure and not invent new stuff, that's their path, and that's okay. So.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that I can make like decent people really famous and rich or wealthy, let's say. So, as if so, I don't see any more like reasons to argue with someone and trying to tell them, please let me make you rich and famous. No, I will stop to do this. If you don't need, I don't need it to.
Yeah.
So that's the truth.
Okay, so let's move to the part with the questions.
Okay.
I will share my screen with the Wheel of Fortune. Where's the link here?
How do you like to be the podcast host?
Question number 4. Okay. So the question number 4 is a question from Lara, and the question is, I really want to know why he precise everyone in public and consider them the best in the world, but constantly tells me to be better.
Because we all should be better. It's very simple, and Larry is good at it, becoming better and better every day.
Yeah, but she needs a little push.
Yes, she asked for push. Like, where is the work?
So why is she asking this question?
What?
Why is she asking this question? If she
I
asks
don't,
push.
I don't know. Yeah, she's playing full, but
Okay, next one.
da, 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 da.
How can you be a CTO and marketing boss at the same time.
Yeah, all I needed to be is launch a product hunt, and people started to call me Simeo. But I think so. So what we preach is all the same. So there is no. So it started to be like one thing. Like if you're talking about indie hacking, there is no coding marketing. It's just one progress.
Okay,
Do you agree?
agree.
You're not coding at all. No, you're coding, right?
Coding, yes.
How is the color extension?
Good. But I found a new one, like the color contrast checker, and right now I want to build like an extension that will check most of accessibility aspects, because right now when I'm doing an audit for accessibility, I need to switch tools, and this is like well, not
No.
cool, not cool. Time consuming. And we don't have time because we need to build. So next question. One more spin. By the way, the previous question was from Gael. Do I pronounce his name correctly?
Yeah, he's a guile, guile, something like that.
Okay, okay. So the question is, does it seem to you, that someday you will go crazy and build in public will be form a mental hospital? And Lara said that she's no kidding and she's really worried.
Yeah, speaking seriously, I afraid.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm so what's happening? So again, I become like more confident. I see like this bright future and all this stuff, but of course it can be like just a mistake. Yeah, I even had this banner for some time, like, am I a psycho? And it's really like something that I'm asking myself every day. So that's why I'm trying to find these like proofs from other people, like I mean other legit people, like not some random but some that built already something cool that I admire basically. So I'm checking my sanity but someday it will happen.
Okay. Do we spin one more time?
Yes.
Okay, let's spin. I really enjoyed this. Okay, this is pretty interesting question. How often do you doubt in what you are doing? Especially because there's especially when most of the Paralect team doesn't believe in him and criticize you.
Especially when okay, yeah, so how often I doubt? Every day. So that's for sure. And like even yesterday, so I remember when I was going to sleep, I was like a bit down, so I was thinking like a bit scared of what's going on. So I'm definitely doubt the daily, but that's what I learned like from my favorite author. He mentioned like rejection therapy. It's the thing when you every day do something, so people reject you. Like you can do anything that you like didn't do before, like something weird, something that stresses you out. And basically, when you got rejection, you won. But when you like when people accept it, you lose. So that's pretty funny because so he did like one guy did 100 days of rejection on YouTube, and it was so the biggest like thing for him was that most of this like weird stuff that he did, like people say okay, let's do this. So basically he was losing like for example, like he he bought some like plant seeds. He like, knocks at some door and some guy opens and he say, can I please like seed this flower on your backyard? And the dude saying, okay. And he just go there and he like plant the seed, or like he went to like some donut place, and he it's like one of the amazing video from his like 100 days of the therapy. It's he went to a donut place and he asked a lady to make a donut that looks like Olympic sign. And instead of saying no, she says, Olympic sign? Okay, let me think what I can do. And she just started like basically like using her creative like thinking to do something, and he was so worried about like the results of work she shown it to him. So it was like pretty cool. So I'm doing rejection daily.
Okay, so the one question that I have in my mind is, do you treat Paralect as your own baby?
What do you mean by that?
Like,
I don't
because
have
a lot of founders treat the companies as a babies, right?
babies.
So you are not a founder of Paralect.
Yeah.
We already established in that call. But you have very huge impact on Paralect. So my question is, after all these years, do you treat Paralect as a baby?
Yeah, probably just give a different meaning, but yeah, for sure. I mean, it's I tied to it, so it's like part of my life. But I think like we'll more transition in Nano more and more. So Nano will become like an umbrella under all of this. And so what I wanted to say, so I never want to be like the thing dependent on me or like anyone else. And what we want to do with Nana is like why I do like, hey, can you rap with me? Can you do this with me? So people used to like do something for me. I used to do something for them. So eventually, like we all create like these small pieces. Like we create probably a video ad, and we have like titles like 10 people who like someone created like picture, someone created music, someone created this and that.
Yeah.
So eventually I can just like disappear and it's continue working.
Yeah.
It's I mean I can retire or die or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's now the goal that I'm moving to, and with Nana I see how it can happen. And it always was with Paralect, so that's why we are not serious about these titles. So we have like guys like who are like 19 years old who are really like laugh and afraid that they will like leave company because they're too ambitious. And I was saying like, let's make you a CEO or CTO. Let's figure out how to make you, and let's figure out how to make you like independent.
Yeah.
Just because I feel that if I help like this dude to build something big, I will be happy like later because he won't forget it too.
Okay. Because something that I observe, why I asked about this, because I observed that every like company owner or founder or person who treat the company as a baby is a dreamer and give some sort of the direction to the company, as we already established. You do. Some and as people that working in Paralect, they need to follow that direction because this is the company that the direction that company follows. So something I have in my mind, and for example, I personally hate, is that when my 9-5 like stepping into my personal life and they want too much of my time. So as this is your dream, Dima dream, let's say Lara dream, I'm not sure about it. Let's say like this, and a few other people dream, like other people follows that. And is there a boundary like between working in Paralect? Because when you're doing people like building their own like personal brand on Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever, it makes like, doesn't it feel like 9-5, because for them it's still 9-5, is taking like their whole life?
Definitely. So the answer is simple. Those who feel like 9 to 5 take their life, they will live. So again, like you said, so it's definitely an 5, and I can like say it like without any like a fear, because like again, it's like you said business, like it's capitalism. Like we just don't have money to pay for like skills that don't cost like money anymore. And we have one solution. It's not a solution for everyone. So that's why we're like kind of testing like the people who will follow. But definitely there are other solutions, and we accept this. But we can't like follow different way anymore because we'll just disappear then.
Yeah. I like something similar that I can recall to like other company is like also the different level of thinking. But something interesting, there is a software development house in Poland called Pyjamas. So they wait, I need to check what they were taking care of. Sorry. Jamstack. There was the biggest like one of the biggest like software houses that take care of the Jamstack, and they grow super big. And something that I really like about the company, that they were creating sub companies to support Pyjamas, but they was like, so the marketing is like they sharing they sharing probably the revenue or something like this, but they are like other company that allows like the head of marketing or CMO to have their own company, to grow their own company, because it's also more empower people to feel the responsibility, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Same with design. The design is not inside Pyjamas, they have Dodonut.
Nice.
So this is also like this is how
nice to meet them.
when I was thinking about when you introduce momentum, and when I saw momentum, I was like, okay, momentum is something like Dodonut.
No, I can tell. So momentum is another huge thing. So
Yeah,
I think
I know. Currently I know, but I was thinking, okay, so it is part of Paralect, but it supports Paralect in growing. But then you guys introduced that Lena.
Yeah, Lena.
Holy shit. Lena, she's the head of design.
Right.
Yes. So she will rise the design studio, right?
Right. Yeah, so Salt and Bolt, so they know testing, and we will like also help them to like use this like playbook.
Okay. So, but this is the similar concept to what I described to you with
very cool. Yeah, and just for you to, so you probably also don't understand like what momentum is, even though you use it and saw it, but it's a very like huge part also of the future, because that will be the practical tool to launch these companies. So eventually that will be the tech. So I don't know, you probably put a few words and it's just like a huge dashboard where you just tweeting, you just like messaging people, you just see payments, you developing stuff, something like that.
Okay. Basically for me, as how I see momentum is like, if you want to be transparent and you want to keep like keep your company like updated with what is going on, you just launch the stream, add this to to your website, and you redirect there your tweets about your company.
Right. Yeah, but it's like 1% of momentum.
Yeah, I know.
But let me tell you, are smart, so you'll understand it. So my goal is to grow, like what you mentioned, like the social network, this like black thing where everyone posts. But the question is like when we started, like how do I get all this content there? Because if you talk about social network, like it's very difficult, like to get people like start posting, to start engaging. So I didn't want even to try to do this. But instead, so all these tricks, like with all these micro products and even like landing page builder, like I hope that with landing page builder we can like educate that now on the landing page builder you need to feature your content. In order to feature your content, you need to create content, so create more and more content. So then they start creating this content, and that's how it appears in the social network, and that's how they discover that there are other people who building stuff. So it's kind of all like tricky way to gain like people for a social network.
That's great. That's great.
Right. And for this, we'll just like build tools like to send batch emails. So once you have like audience, to send emails or to launch blog. and it will be stupid simple block, like in seconds, definitely. Like you know me, it will be limited, like not every single word, but it will be something that you can use every day to post daily, and it will look nice. I know, like text, picture, like for bold, italic, so something very basic, for example, block.
Great.
And not only, sorry for talking about Momentum, but just to show like the magic. So we have like one of the products in Momentum is like Wave. It's analytics. It can be used as a separate product, and it can be sold as a separate product. It's just a web analytics, but we use it in every other product. So on the page builder, you will see this analytics embedded. In Block, it will be embedded. So like, you know, with some Block you can start, but analytics is afterthought. You know this feeling, like you launch page, I know, on Framer, but you haven't added analytics, but something happened and you say, oh, I failed to add analytics. And we do something that will be basic, but that will implement very nice like product process. So you will always have analytics, you will always have visibility, but it will be basic and just to start earning and growing. But later I'll probably even grow big, I think.
Great. I love it.
Sorry for being boring, Alex.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm thinking if I want to ask about anything or we should wrap this up. I
I can ask you.
So if you want to invest in Nano or anything that Igor is doing, just contact him in public on Twitter, not on the LinkedIn. Maybe on LinkedIn in the future. LinkedIn will not be lame anymore.
Yes. Can I ask you a question? I have a question to you.
Yes.
What animal are you?
Really? Seriously, we're talking about this when my surname is Szczurek?
It's not my question. I just redirected. I for sure knew it.
Yeah, but I never thought about me like being a rat. I always like, because what is the name of the stuff when you're born and you are in the specific date and you get like the Cancer or lion
Zodiac or
zodiac. Oh yeah, zodiacs. So my zodiac is Leo. So I was like, okay, I like it. It's okay.
So you're a lion?
Yeah, but I think I'm more like a rat. I'm just sneaking around, like, you know, doing a lot of stuff. So yeah,
So you're half lion, half rat?
Yeah. I'm hybrid, you know.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So did you like it?
Yes.
Cool.
I think like the beginning, because I did the introduction when we did not record on Cal, and I supposed to repeat this, but I forgot, and it was so weird. So that the intro was super weird, but okay, never mind.
By the way, I have a new song, so I use it in the intros. If you want to rap, you should record it.
Public. Tonight, you start using the internet.
Where is Vlad? He needs to rap.
Yes. So yeah, if you want to rap, I'm waiting for your lines, and I will use it for some other podcast.
I already did this.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Where?
Like 2 minutes ago.
Only one time. Okay. Got it.
Where is Vlad? He needs to rap. This is my rap. And for everyone interested in your LinkedIn and your name and how to pronounce it, let's make it official.
Join the ride.
The first version was Igor Krasnik, and it was for a long time there.
I was about to add Alex Szczurek, and I'm a girl.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool.
Because I change even my avatar to my normal picture,
Yeah.
and people, like Polish people especially, still contact me per Mister, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So that's it.
It was so nice to be the imposter on your podcast.
Yeah, it was also nice. I hope that all people start doing it even without us.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm stopping the recording. Bye, guys.